I welcome you in the fourth session of An Astrologer's Day. Before beginning the final session, I would like to summarize the first three videos of this lesson. In the first paragraph of the lesson, we come to know about an astrologer. The astrologer had his professional equipments, and with those professional equipments, he was doing business in a small town. There were other traders also. R.K. Narayan had given nice description of whole market. In the coming paragraph, we come to know that the astrologer had to leave his village in an emergency. He did not know that he was going to be an astrologer. He also did not know what was going to happen to him in coming minute. There is an irony. R.K. Narayan has used irony in many places in this story. On that particular day, the astrologer was doing his business. At the end of day, he was preparing to go home. He was collecting all his equipments and he was keeping those equipments in his bag. At that time, he saw an client. Astrologer cajoled him. Astrologer requested him to show his palm. The client was little bit rude. That person showed his palm rudely to the astrologer. The astrologer felt challenged. After bargaining, they settled on a pact. They settled on an agreement. But astrologer sensed something and he decided to leave the place. But the person who came there and who was showing his palm was not ready to leave the astrologer. As per his regular beginning, the astrologer started talking about the client was so much alert. He told clearly astrologer not to tell anything else. He wanted to ask few questions to astrologer. Now in this session, we will come to know what happened next, what questions were there in that person's mind, and was the astrologer able to give answers to them. So let's begin the last session of this lesson. Textbook page number 4. Page number 4. If you find my answer satisfactory, will you give me 5 rupees? The astrologer asked for money. No, the stranger said. Or will you give me 8 annas? Again the astrologer asked. All right, provided you give me twice as much if you are wrong. Provided you give me twice as much if you are wrong. If the stranger proved astrologer wrong, the astrologer had to pay double money, said the stranger. This pact was accepted after a little further argument. There was little argument between the stranger and the astrologer, and the pact, it means agreement. The agreement was accepted by both. The astrologer sent up a prayer to heaven as the other lit the churot. Before beginning, the astrologer said prayer. At that time, the stranger lit up churot. Churot means a cigarette. Churot is an Indian word. As it is used in English, so it is an example of code mixing, and that's why it is printed in italics in textbook. The astrologer caught a glimpse of his face by the matchlight. We already knew that there were no lights. All lights were gone. There was a little green shaft, and in that green shaft, the astrologer was unable to see the face of stranger. But when the stranger lit the matchstick, the astrologer was able to see his face. The astrologer caught a glimpse of his face by the matchlight. Using a dictionary. If you don't have dictionary, use online dictionary. There was a pause as cars hooted on the road. Some cars were plying on that road. They were The drivers were honking the horns. Jutka drivers swore at their horses. Jutka means a horse-driven cart. And the babble of crowd agitated the semi-darkness of the park. And that crowd was also moving. The other sat down. The stranger sat down, sucking his cheroot, puffing out, sat ruthlessly. He was a ruthless person. The stranger was a ruthless person. The astrologer felt very uncomfortable, and he understood that he was dealing the business with a wrong person, a rowdy person. So he decided to return the anna which was given by the stranger. He decided to give it back. I am not used to such challenges. He said he was not ready to take the challenge. It is late for me today and it has become late also. So I am leaving. He made preparations to bundle up. The astrologer started collecting all his professional equipments. The other held his wrist and said, but the stranger was not ready to allow the astrologer to go. And he said, you can't get out of it now. Now we have done agreement and you cannot leave it now. You dragged me in while I was passing. The astrologer shivered in his grip and his voice shook and became faint. Now the astrologer is terrified. The client was not allowing the astrologer to go. Leave me today. I will speak to you tomorrow. The astrologer pleaded. The other thrust his palm and said, challenge is challenge. Go on. The client did not want to retreat, and he compelled the astrologer to accept the challenge now. The astrologer proceeded with his throat drying up. There is woman. So it was compulsory for the astrologer to say something. He began with the sentence, there is a woman. If you observe the astrologers or fortune tellers around yourself, dear students, you will find that these astrologers begin with a particular sentence. Their beginning is almost same. On the screen you can see some meanings of words. You please note it down. Stop, said the other. I did not want all that. He ordered astrologer to stop. I don't want all that. Shall I succeed in my present search or not? That was the question which the client wanted to ask. Answer this and go. Otherwise, I will not let you go till you disgorge all your coins. Disgorge is a verb. It means yield or surrender under pressure. After surrendering all the money which you have, I will allow you to go, said the client. The astrologer muttered a few incantations. Incantation means magical words. So the astrologer muttered something and he gave a reply. All right, I will speak. But will you give me a rupee if what I say is convincing? Now the astrologer wanted little bit more money. So he said, if he told something satisfying to the client should give him 1 rupee. Otherwise I will not open my mouth. And you may do what you like. Now here astrologer become adamant. After a good deal of haggling, the other agreed. They bargained and then again they agreed. The astrologer said, you are left for dead, am I right? Now the astrologer told one fact to the client. Tell me more. The fact was, right. A knife has passed through you once, said the astrologer. The astrologer told that somebody tried to stab the client. Good fellow. He bared his chest to show the scar. What else? It was truth. The stranger showed his chest. The stranger showed his chest. There was a wound mark. and then you were pushed into a well nearby in the field. You were left for dead. The astrologer continued. He informed that after stabbing the stranger, he was thrown into the well for death. I should have been dead if some passerby had not a chance to peep into the well. The stranger told that a passerby happened to look into the well and I was found and then I was saved, exclaimed the other, overwhelmed by the enthusiasm. So, because of these facts, the stranger was excited and he provided more details. Shall I get at him? He asked, clenching his fist. The client wanted to take revenge. So he asked whether he was going to find out the person who stabbed him. Dear friends, here there is a one margin question. The man was left for dead because. You please refer the previous paragraph. You can listen the same paragraph again and write the answer. And you need to find out these three words meaning from the dictionary. If you don't have dictionary, refer Google. I have provided parts of speech of these three words. In the next world, answered the astrologer. He died 4 months ago in a far-off town. You will never see any more of him. The astrologer told that the person who stabbed the client is dead now. And the client was not going to find that person. The other groaned on hearing it. The astrologer proceeded. The client did not like it because he was not going to take revenge. Guru Nayak, the astrologer proceeded. You know my name, the other said, taken aback. The astrologer told the client's name. So it was a kind of shock to the client. As I know all other things, Guru Nayak, listen carefully to what I have to say. Your village is 2 days' journey due north to this town. Take the next train and be gone. I see once again great danger to your life if you go from home. Now the astrologer giving advice to Guru Nayak. The astrologer told Guru Nayak that he should not leave his village. He should quickly return to his village. Because there was a grave danger. He took out a pinch of sacred ash and held it to him. Rub it on your forehead and go home. The astrologer gave the sacred ash to the client and he was told to apply that sacred ash on the forehead. Never travel southward again, and you will live to be 100. So the astrologer advised him not to travel southward again. We'll come to know in the end of the story why the astrologer was saying these things. Why should I leave home again? The other said reflectively. I was only going away now and then to look for him and to choke out his life if I met him. Guru Nayak wanted to take revenge at any cost, and that's why he was leaving his house. But he was not going to leave the house now because the person to whom he was searching, he was dead. He shook his head regretfully. Guru Nayak was showing regret because he was unable to take revenge. He has escaped my hands. I hope at least he died as he deserved. Yes, said the astrologer. He was crushed under a lorry. The other looked gratified to hear it. After hearing, Guru Nayak was pleased. The place was deserted by the time the astrologer picked up his articles and put them into his bag. When Guru Nayak came there, we came to know that the market was going to close. Everybody started leaving the place. Only astrologer remained now. The green shaft was also gone. The last source of light was also gone. It was a green shaft. Leaving the place in darkness and silence. There was silence as well as there was darkness. The stranger had gone off into the night after giving the astrologer a handful coins. Guru Nanak gave handful coins in the darkness to the astrologer. The astrologer did not understand exact amount. It was nearly midnight when the astrologer reached home. His wife was waiting for him at the door and demanded an explanation. His wife was waiting for him. She wanted to know why the astrologer became late. He flung the coins at her and said, "Count them." One man gave all that. So he threw money towards her and ordered her to count them. 12.5 annas, she said, counting. She was overjoyed. I can buy some jaggery and coconut tomorrow. The child has been asking for sweets for so many days now. I will prepare some nice stuff for her. The astrologer's wife became happy and she planned to prepare something sweet for her daughter. The swine has cheated me. Now astrologer blaming Guru Nanak. He promised me a rupee because Guru Nanak promised that he would give the astrologer a rupee. Said the astrologer. She looked up at him. You looked worried. What is wrong? The astrologer's wife found worry on the astrologer's face. Nothing. After dinner, sitting on the payal, he told her, "Do you know a great load is gone from me today?" Payal is an Indian word. Again, it is an example of code mixing. The Indian word is used as it is in English. You can see the picture of Payal on the screen. After taking dinner, astrologer started telling something to his wife. "Do you know a great load is gone from me today? I thought I had the blood of a man on my hands all these years. That was the reason why I ran away from home, settled here and married you. He is alive." The astrologer revealed one thing. He thought that he killed a person many years before. But today, he understood that the person was alive. And that was the reason he left his village without any plan, without any thinking. She gasped, "You tried to kill him?" "Yes, in our village, when I was a silly youngster. We drank, gambled, and quarreled badly one day. Why think of it now? When I was young, I drank, I gambled, I quarreled. Why think of it now? It is time to sleep." The astrologer stopped here and he decided to sleep now. He said, yawning, and stretched himself on the payal. The astrologer is now totally relieved because he was thinking that he killed a person, but it was not so. The person was alive. And then the astrologer slept soundly without tension. So that was the particular day of an astrologer's life. This story is written by R.K. Narayan. Now I'll explain the taught paragraphs into Marathi. If you have not understood in English, you please listen my Marathi explanation. 1.1 An Astrologer's Day च्या 4थ्या सेशनमध्ये आपण उरलेला भाग पाहिलात. या व्हिडिओच्या पूर्वार्धात मी इंग्रजी स्पष्टीकरणाचा वापर केला आहे. आता जो भाग मी आज शिकवलेला आहे तोच भाग मी मराठीत तुम्हाला सांगत आहे. तुला जर माझी उत्तर समाधानकारक आढळली तर तू मला 5 रुपये देशील का? ॲस्ट्रॉलॉजरने विचारलं. नाही. किंवा 8 आणे देशील का? हो, पण एका अटीवर. जर मी तुला खोटं पाडलं तर तू मला दुप्पट रक्कम परत करायचीस, तो अनोळखी व्यक्ती म्हणाला. थोड्याशा वादविवादानंतर अट मान्य केली गेली. त्या गिरायकानं चिरूट जसं पेटवलं अगदी त्याच वेळी ज्योतिषानं स्वर्गाच्या दिशेने एक प्रार्थना पाठवली. गाडीच्या प्रकाशात ज्योतिषानं त्याच्या चेहऱ्याची एक झलक पाहिली. रस्त्यावरच्या मोटारींचे हॉर्न वाजले. घोडागाडीच्या चालकांनी घोड्यांना शेव्या घातल्या आणि पार्कच्या सायं प्रकाशात गर्दीच्या गोंगाटानं प्रक्षोभित केल्याने त्यामुळे तेथे थोडासा अल्पविराम होता. चिरूट ओढत झुरका सोडत ती गिरायक खाली निष्ठुरपणे बसले. ज्योतिषाला खूप अस्वस्थ वाटलं. हा तुझा एक आणा माघारी घे. मला असल्या आव्हानांची सवय नाही. आज मला उशीर झाला आहे. त्या ज्योतिषानं सगळी बांधाबांधीची तयारी सुरू केली. त्या अनोळखी माणसानं ज्योतिषाचं मनगट पकडलं. आता तू यातून बाहेर पडू शकत नाहीस. मी इथून जात असताना तू मला बोलवलंस. त्याच्या पकडीत ज्योतिषी थोडासा थरथरला आणि त्याचा आवाज कंप पावला आणि स्पष्ट बनला. आज मला जाऊ दे. तुझ्याशी मी उद्या बोलतो. त्यानं आपला तळहात ज्योतिषाच्या तोंडापुढे घुसवला आणि म्हणाला, आव्हान म्हणजे आव्हान. पुढे चालू कर. कोरड्या घशाने ज्योतिषाने पुढे सुरुवात केली. एक स्त्री आहे. थांब. दुसरा म्हणाला, मला असलं नको आहे. मी सध्या घेत असलेल्या शोधामध्ये मी यशस्वी होईन का याचं उत्तर दे आणि जा. नाहीतर तुझ्या जवळची सगळी नाणी घेतल्याशिवाय मी तुला सोडणार नाही. ज्योतिषाने काही मंत्रोच्चार पुटपुटला आणि उत्तरला, बरं, मी बोलेन. जर मी काय सांगेन ते खात्रीलायक असेल तर तू मला 1 रुपया देशील का? नाहीतर मी माझं तोंड उघडणार नाही आणि तुला काय करायचं आहे ते तू कर. अगदी चांगल्या प्रकारे हुज्जत घातल्यानंतर तो तयार झाला. ज्योतिषी म्हणाला, तुझ्यावर प्राणघातक हल्ला झाला होता. मी बरोबर आहे ना? आहा, आणखी मला सांग. एकदा तुझ्या शरीरात चाकू घुसवला होता ना? ज्योतिषी म्हणाला. हुशार माणूस. त्या अनोळखी माणसानं व्रण दाखवण्यासाठी आपली छाती उघडी केली. आणखी काही सांग. आणि तुला जवळच्या शेतात असलेल्या विहिरीत ढकलून दिलं. तुझा मृत्यू झालाय असं समजून सोडून दिलं गेलं. जर कोण्या वाटसोरानं विहिरीत डोकावून पाहिलं नसतं तर मी मृत पावलो असतो. उत्साहानं भारावून जाऊन तो अनोळखी माणूस उद्गारला. मी कधी त्याच्यापर्यंत पोहोचेन? मोठा उडत तो म्हणाला. पुढच्या जन्मात. ज्योतिषी उत्तरला. दूरच्या गावात त्याचा 4 महिन्यापूर्वी मृत्यू झालाय. तुला तो आता कधीही दिसणार नाही. हे ऐकल्यावर ते गिरायक गुरगुरले. ज्योतिषाने पुढे चालू केले. गुरुनायक, तुला माझं नाव माहीत आहे? त्याला धक्का बसला. तसं मला आणखी काही माहीत आहे गुरुनायक. मी जे काही सांगणारच आहे ते तू काळजीपूर्वक ऐक. या गावच्या उत्तरेला 2 दिवसांच्या प्रवासावर तुझं गाव आहे. पुढची रेल्वे पकड आणि इथून जा. तू जर घर सोडलंस तर आणखी एकदा तुझ्या जीवाला मोठा धोका आहे हे मला दिसत आहे. त्याने एक चिमूटभर भस्म बाहेर काढलं आणि त्याच्यासमोर धरलं. तुझ्या कपाळावर हे लाव आणि घरी जा. पुन्हा कधीही दक्षिणेकडे प्रवास करू नको. तू 100 वर्ष जगशील. मी का बरं घर सोडू? गुरुनायक विचारपूर्वक म्हणाला. अधूनमधून मी घरापासून दूर जात होतो कारण जर मला तो भेटला तर त्याचा गळा दाबून ठार करण्यासाठी. त्याने खेदानं त्याचं डोकं हलवलं. तो माझ्या हातून सुटला आहे. शेवटी तो मृत पावला ज्याला तो लायक होता अशी माझी आशा आहे. हो, ज्योतिषी म्हणला. तो ट्रक खाली चिरडला गेला. हे ऐकल्यावर गुरुनायक समाधानी दिसला. जेव्हा ज्योतिषानं सगळं साहित्य उचललं आणि पिशवीत ठेवलं त्यावेळी ते ठिकाण सुनसान झालं होतं. त्या ठिकाणाला अंधारात आणि शांततेत सोडत तो हिरवा प्रकाश किरण नाहीसा झाला. उंजळभर नाणी दिल्यानंतर तो अनोळखी इसम रात्रीच्या अंधारात निघून गेला. जेव्हा ज्योतिषी घरी पोचला तेव्हा जवळजवळ मध्यरात्र झाली होती. दरवाजात त्याची बायको त्याची वाट पाहत उभी होती आणि उशीर का झाला त्याबद्दल तिला स्पष्टीकरण हवं होतं. तिच्याकडे त्याने नाणी फेकली आणि म्हणाला, मोज. एका माणसानं सगळी नाणी दिली आहेत. 12 आणि 1 अर्धा आणा, ती मोजत म्हणाली. तिला अत्यानंद झाला होता. उद्या मी गूळ आणि नारळ खरेदी करू शकेन. आता बरेच दिवस झाले पोर गोडधोडाची मागणी करत आलेले आहे. त्याच्यासाठी काहीतरी चांगलं करेन. त्या डुकरानं मला फसवलं. मला 1 रुपया देण्याचं वचन दिलं होतं, ज्योतिषी म्हणाला. तिनं वर त्याच्याकडे पाहिले. तुम्ही काळजीत दिसताय, काय झालं? काही नाही. जेवणानंतर खाटेवर बसत त्याने तिला सांगितलं, तुला माहीत आहे का की माझ्या डोक्यावरील खूप मोठं ओझं कमी झालं. इतकी वर्ष मी असा विचार करत होतो की माझ्या हात एका माणसाच्या रक्ताने माखले आहेत. घरातून पळून जाण्याचं, इथं वास्तव्य करण्याचं आणि तुझ्याशी लग्न करण्याचं हे कारण होतं. तो माणूस जिवंत आहे. ती उसासा टाकत म्हणाली, तुम्ही त्याला मारण्याचा प्रयत्न केला? हो, आमच्या गावात जेव्हा मी एक मूर्ख तरुण होतो. आम्ही दारू प्यायलो, जुगार खेळलो, एका दिवशी वाईट पद्धतीने भांडलो. आत्ता का बरं मी विचार करतोय हा? झोपण्याची वेळ झाली. तो जांभई देत आणि खाटेवर शरीराला ताण देत म्हणाला. या इथं ही गोष्ट संपते.